In the quiet hours when a sleeping city hums softly, a food-obsessed journalist discovers a tattered notebook listing energizing ingredients as if they were runes. Each entry glows with unwritten power, promising days of flawless stamina, sharp focus, and a strength the body forgets to expect. The first page calls for oats soaked in lemon brightness, almonds cracked like secrets, and a sunrise ritual that pries open fatigue. As the journalist follows the ritual, a surge of clarity arrives, yet the room feels lighter, as if a lid has been removed from time. A voice over the street declares the city hungry for energy, and the notebook replies with a warning. Some fuels awaken more than bodies, some awaken memories better left buried. The journalist laughs, then rubs temples where a hidden ache begins to pulse. Beats appear on the page like a carnival of color. The journalist chops them, steals a bead of juice, and tastes a strange sweetness that jolts every neuron. The world blooms in sharper color, but shadows listen, listening closer than before. Banana and walnuts align in a simple harmony, yet a memory surfaces of a private gym that vanished years ago. The notebook whispers that energy is a doorway, and doors sometimes mislead rather than open. A creak sounds from the staircase beneath the apartment. A pot of green tea pours itself, steam curling into coded letters that spell a warning. Keep moving, or the energy will split you into fragments. The journalist pockets the mug, deciding to map the energy trails from kitchen to street. Cocoa nibs scatter like midnight meteors. With every bite, the city's rumors sharpen into a chorus. The journalist notes a pattern, a city block that lights up only when the energy rises, a pulse that travels through walls and into the bones. CTA, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment with your energy theory, and share this video to help test the legend. The notebook's ink darkens at the edges as if listening for a response from the world outside. A map is drawn in coffee rings that leads to a market alley where spinach leaves glisten with something electric. The journalist samples a leaf and feels a small spark travel along the spine, a map of possibilities unfurling within the brain. The market stalls pulse like organs in a sleeping creature. A vendor offers eggs with a smile that knows secrets. When the journalist asks for the energy secret, the vendor points toward a backroom that smells of citrus heat and rain-warmed metal. Inside the backroom, jars of nuts and seeds glitter as if small suns. A note explains that energy is a conversation between molecules, a chorus of microprisms. The journalist listens, but a pair of eyes watches from the doorway, patient and accusing. The eyes belong to a former mentor thought lost. He warns that the notebook thrives on attention. If the reader stops, the energy will coil back into ordinary sleep and leave nothing but fatigue in its wake. A scene shifts to a rooftop where quinoa dances in a pan. The journalist tastes the grain and feels an architectural awakening in the skull, like a blueprint unfurling behind the eyes. Then a siren wails somewhere distant, turning curiosity into urgent peril. From the notebook, a new entry emerges, dark chocolate bars with sea salt. The bite is a spark, a memory of a first sprint, but the taste lingers in the mouth as if something beautiful and dangerous has been awakened. The mentor reappears in a dream, wearing an apron stitched with dates and times. He warns that energy is a currency bargained with consequence. The journalist wakes drenched in sweat, the room colder than before, the notebook whispering that balance is never simple. CTA, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment with your energy theory, and share this video to help test the legend. If truth hides within meals, sharing could reveal it to more eyes. A beaker of beet juice spills across the page, leaving a Rorschach stain. The journalist follows the stain into the city's memory, discovering the energy spikes align with subway arrivals. Each station becomes a pulse, each pulse a promise that something watches them. In a library basement, books about nutrition whisper like hungry mouths. The journalist tastes a pear and feels a gentle lift, as if the fruit had leaned in and offered secret advice about resilience. Yet in the margins, handwriting runs away from the lines. The notebook's margins reveal a warning. Some foods unlock energy by unlocking fear. The journalist reframes the thought, asking if courage could be harvested like a citrus rind, zest pressed into a morning ritual that cuts through the ordinary with bright edges. A trail of orange zest leads to a hidden bakery whose ovens heartily breathe. The aroma is intoxicating and precise, like a compass. The baker speaks in a language of aroma, claiming the energy is a map drawn with heat, steam, and time. The journalist tastes a cinnamon-tinged bread and suddenly recalls a childhood apartment that burned in the night, the memory returning with a clarity that feels almost necessary. The notebook hums, insisting the origin of energy lies in remembered pain and persistence. A stranger appears, drenched in rain and the scent of citrus. He carries a jar of honey that seems to glow. He claims the notebook chose him to guard the threshold of true energy, and that the knowledge comes with a price only the worthy pay. The journalist refuses to bargain, yet a quiet hunger gnaws as the honey's glow grows stronger on the skin. Each bite tastes like the first morning of a long voyage, and the city outside the window responds with a chorus of approving winds. CTA, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment with your energy theory, and share this video to help test the legend. Remember, every share could unlock a new clue from the notebook's whispered labyrinth. The energy map expands into a network of street lamps that flicker in algorithmic patterns. The journalist realizes the energy is not a nutrient alone, but a sociable force, binding people into a living grid that breathes with the city. In a dawn-lit market, a vendor demonstrates oats soaked in fruit juice that gleam like amber. The ritual renews the mind for hours, but the vendor warns that too much light invites the false dawn, where fatigue hides behind a grin. The mentor's shadow glides across the market stalls, explaining that energy has a currency: attention. The notebook accrues value with every reader who thinks about it, and someone who stops reading could drain the world of its spark. A hidden room beneath the bakery holds jars labeled with times of day. The journalist tastes a spoonful of chia seed gel and experiences a lingering memory of a sunlit classroom where every question answered released a small surge of energy. The city's breath grows faster as the journalist follows the energy through a subway tunnel, the walls glittering with condensation and usernames. Someone must decide who gets the energy, and who must perform a quiet act of restraint. Back on the rooftop, spinach leaves float in a bowl like tiny green meteors. The journalist tastes one, then discovers the leaves carried a minute static charge that hums through fingertips, inviting actions that change the day's momentum and tilt conversations toward revelation. A chorus forms outside, cyclists and commuters chanting the rhythm of heartbeat, a living song. The notebook computes the tempo into a numeric language, signaling the journalist to move toward a crosswalk where the energy is strongest and the true test will begin. CTA, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment with your energy theory, and share this video to help test the legend. The moment demands a chorus of voices, a public vow to keep chasing the unknown. The crosswalk glows with a pale green as energy lines climb the street like tendrils. The journalist touches a railing and feels the memory of a sprint 10 years past, a reminder that the energy carries a timeline as well as a scent. The notebook opens to a page written in a foreign script, but the meaning becomes clear as a crowd gathers to listen. It speaks of a last meal that could awaken a dormant city somewhere beyond hunger, somewhere that listens for brave tasting. At the edge of a river, the journalist tastes a beach-red smoothie that tastes of rain. The current carries voices of those who once chased energy and vanished. The journal notes that some echoes return only when courage is tasted again. A street magician conjures a bowl of oats with citrus zest and tells a riddle. Energy is a story you tell your body, and your body answers with momentum. The journalist clings to this, mapping stories onto meals and meals onto days. A twist reveals a rival researcher who claims energy is a controlled illusion, a sleep trick played by the city's planners. The journalist demands proof, forcing a confrontation in a crowded tram, where a whispered exchange decides whether truth will surface or retreat. The rival produces a lab report claiming the notebook's power is placebo. The journalist counters with a test. Two volunteers eat identical meals, yet only one experiences the surge of memory, movement, and the ease of breath. The room tightens with unspoken consequences. In a quiet hallway, the mentor confesses that some foods awaken not energy, but a memory of danger. The journalist must choose between sharing the entire truth or guarding a dark truth that could topple trust in nourishment forever. CTA, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment with your energy theory, and share this video to help test the legend. Some truths thrive on crowd observation, so your voice could steer what happens next. A secret room beneath the library reveals a clock that counts in meals rather than minutes. The journalist experiments with a meal that aligns with the clock, and suddenly the world speeds up, then slows down, and the crowd around me feels like living chalk. From the notebook, a warning reappears. Keep the energy moving, or the city will feed on its own fatigue and forget how to dream. The journalist chooses to keep moving, to chase a rising dawn that refuses to stay hidden. The energy reveals itself as a collective memory of every eater who believed in a brighter morning. Each bite becomes a vote for resilience, and the city itself seems to lean toward hope, until a sudden blackout swallows the skyline and silences the chorus. In the darkness, a neon fox appears, guiding the journalist to a fountain where filtered water sings. The fountain confirms the truth. Energy is shared, not hoarded, and a single act of generosity can light a whole block. The journalist performs a small kindness for a stranger, offering a bottle of water and a handful of almonds. Immediately, the stranger smiles and energy returns to the street, ripple by ripple, as if generosity were a metabolic fuel the body consumes with joy. Back at the apartment, the notebook dims as if tired of being studied. The journalist realizes the energy is never static. It travels through empathy, conversation, and collective rainfall of attention. The pages begin to soften at the edges, almost ready to vanish. A memory surfaces of the mentor teaching restraint, showing how to balance intention with appetite. The journalist experiments with restraint, choosing smaller portions thoughtfully, and notes a stability that grows when desire is tempered rather than indulged. CTA, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment with your energy theory, and share this video to help test the legend. The city responds to the collective invitation, turning every screen into a beacon for the truth you help uncover. Dawn breaks over a river of light. The notebook's text tightens, revealing a final recipe that fuses oats, beet, spinach, and a secret spice the journalist cannot name. The combination promises a stability greater than any single food could offer. The journal disappears into a new cover, and the city seems to lean in, waiting. The journalist feels a responsibility heavier than appetite, to decide who may taste the power and who must learn to endure the hunger of waiting. A chorus of footsteps approaches as a hidden audience reveals themselves, ordinary people who have learned to harness energy without hoarding it. They invite the journalist to join a pact, a promise to share meals and memories for a common bright day. The journalist hesitates, then signs the pact with a bite of the final recipe. A warm glow spreads through the room, and the city outside looks different, as though every pixel carries a tiny, hopeful sunrise. A final warning echoes. Balance remains fragile, and the true energy is the ability to wake others gently rather than force them awake. The journalist steps into dawn, carrying a notebook lighter yet heavier with responsibility. Cliffhanger, a shadow behind the window lifts its head and smiles, revealing a mouthful of tiny stars. The energy shifts, The pages flutter and a question lingers in the air. Who woke whom, and what hungry dawn still waits beyond the next page?